Welcome to The Explainer. Look, if you've been banging your head against the wall trying to break 90, or even feeling stuck in the 100s, you are exactly where you need to be. Today, we're tossing out all that confusing swing advice you get from your buddies and looking at the cold, hard data to reveal the actual, proven formula for getting your scores into the 80s. So let's just address the elephant in the room right away. Do you need a completely perfect tour-level swing to break 90? I mean, so many of us spend hours obsessing over totally complex swing mechanics, thinking that a flawless, aesthetic swing is the only way to shoot decent scores. Well, here is the absolute best news you're going to hear all day. Incredible data from ShotScope completely shatters that illusion. You literally do not need perfection. You just need marginal gains across 6 very specific areas. It's not about an overhaul, it's just a totally achievable, step-by-step roadmap to get you into the 80s. All right, section 1, reducing troublesome tee shots. We're going to walk through a hole from start to finish. And on the tee box, your very first goal is simply to eliminate just one bad drive per round. First things first, what exactly is the enemy here? A troublesome shot isn't just missing the fairway by a yard. We're talking about the real round killers. Out of bounds, water hazards, or burying it so deep in the woods that your only option is to chip out sidewise. Basically, anything that completely kills your chance of hitting the green on your second shot. Now, get this. This is mind-blowing to me. An 80 shooter only hits about 1.6 fewer bad drives than a 90 shooter. Just look at the numbers, 4.9 versus 3.3. You do not need to hit every single fairway to break 90. You just need to keep the ball in play slightly more often. Save just 1 or 2 drives around from the drink, and your score is going to drop fast. So how do we actually avoid those wild drives? It's all about your mental process, specifically Titleist's 4 Rs. Make all your tactical decisions. Calculating wind, picking your distance, behind the ball, right? That's refocus. Then routine is your physical setup. React is just swinging without overthinking. And finally, relax. You've got to zone out between shots so you don't totally fry your brain by the 14th hole. Oh, and another huge tip, stop fighting your natural swing. If you slice the ball, and hey, no judgment here, just tee it up on the far right side of the tee box. So many golfers tee up on the left thinking they're giving themselves room, but it actually creates a horrible angle. Move to the right, aim up the left edge, and let that natural fade bring the ball safely back to the short grass. It's a total game changer. Our second key to breaking 90 is finding an extra 10 to 15 yards of driving distance. And no, you don't need to hit the gym for this. The data actually shows 80 shooters hit it about 11 yards further purely because they let the club head release. Stop trying to steer the ball down the fairway. Think of your club like a whip. You want to hear a loud swoosh right at the bottom of the swing. Let it fly. Okay, section 2, attacking the green. Once we're safely out there in the fairway, the next big hurdle is your approach play. And the math here is honestly incredibly encouraging. You literally only need to hit 1.8 more greens in regulation per round to bridge that gap into the 80s. That's it. An average 90 shooter hits about 3.5 greens, while an 80 shooter hits around 5.5. We aren't trying to become dart-throwing machines out here. We just need to find roughly 2 more greens over the entire 18 holes. And getting those extra 2 greens is easier than you think. Stop acting like every shot is going to be your absolute Sunday best. If you only pure your 7-iron 150 yards 1 out of 10 times, that is not your 150-yard club. Pull the club that averages that distance. And seriously, ignore where the flag is. Aiming dead center gives you the widest possible margin for error. Moving right along to section 3, conquering the short game. Missing greens is just a fact of golf, which brings us to step 4. Finding consistency from inside 50 yards so you stop bleeding strokes around the green. The real trick here is knowing exactly when to hit a low spin chip versus a high spin pitch. A chip is your absolute best friend. It's low risk. You take an 8 or 9 iron, keep your wrists quiet, and get that ball rolling like a putt immediately. A pitch, on the other hand, is way harder. It requires a lob wedge, aggressive acceleration, and tons of spin to carry over an obstacle. Bottom line, if you have the green to work with, always take the bumping chip shot. And to pull these shots off without chunking them into the dirt, you've got to use a standardized setup. Narrow your stance, plant about 60% of your weight firmly on that lead foot, and just let your body rotate naturally back and through.
No flippy wrists required, just a reliable, boring, totally repeatable motion that gets the ball safely on the dance floor.
Which brings us to Section 4, eliminating dreaded three putts. We are finally on the green for steps 5 and 6, targeting the most agonizing part of amateur golf. Did you know 90 shooters average over 4.5 three putts a round? Man, that hurts just to say, but here's the upside. Cutting out just one single three putt is a massive leap toward your goal. If you can just lag that first putt a tiny bit closer so you have a stress-free tap-in, you are instantly shaving a full stroke off your scorecard.
So, how do we fix our distance control? You've got to try this tee-to-tee drill on the practice green. Stand on a flat putt and just swing the putter head from the outside edge of your back foot to the outside edge of your front foot, and see how far it rolls. Then, stick some tees a bit wider and do it again. This builds automatic, totally natural muscle memory, tying your swing length directly to how far the ball is going to travel.
And that brings us to the sixth and final way to break 90, simply holing exactly one more short putt from inside 5 feet per round. Just one. The key here is hitting them with enough pace to travel about 9 inches past the cup if you miss. That extra bit of speed ensures the ball actually holds its line and doesn't get knocked off course by some random spike mark near the hole. All right, Section 5, putting it all together. We've gone from the tee box all the way to the bottom of the cup. So let's zoom out and look at the whole picture. When you see it all laid out in this marginal gains checklist, breaking 90 really doesn't look like an impossible mountain anymore, does it? None of these require you to play like a pro. It's just slightly smarter choices off the tee, taking enough club on your approach, grabbing the 8-iron to chip instead of a lob wedge, and dialing in your putting speed. It is literally just a game of tiny, achievable micro goals. You've got the data, you've got the drills, the roadmap is right here. So the only question left is, which of these 6 marginal gains are you going to conquer first this weekend? Are you going to focus on avoiding that one terrible drive? Or are you finally going to spend 10 minutes on the practice green calibrating your putts? Pick your target, trust the numbers, and go shoot the absolute best round of your life.